Hello, Internet. Welcome to my comic book talk for the comics side for the week. Only two books this week: Uncanny Avengers and Thunderbolts. I was gonna read Mass Effect Foundation, but I haven't gotten around to it. So it's Monday? So I'll get around to it eventually. But I just want to get this video up before I'm like super late with it again. So here we go. So Uncanny Avengers number 19, Avenge the Earth Part 2. I'm not going to talk about like what went down in like the previous like installments of this if you haven't been reading, because it's like totally worth checking out. But yeah, so we pick up here where you have Iman talking to the X-Council, which is pretty cool. They're like in this. It has like this very Coruscant feel to it. This like X Tower, and like you have X-Men there. There's like Storm, Cable, Cyclops, Quicksilver, Psylocke. Magneto comes in the room. There's two other people. Oh yeah, Jean Grey, and then there's someone else. I'm guessing Kitty Pryde, because like they never say who that other person is. But and it's interesting because like they're drawn in like this profile where it's like they're not really super like detailed, but you can like tell from like their outfits like who is who. So you have Iman there talking to them about Havoc's got this plan, and we can't have him, because in the last issue what essentially happened was what they're referencing is like there's a tachyon dam that's preventing time travel, because that's like the only way to solve the current crisis that has been enacted in the series that I'm trying to talk around. Something crazy happened, and then they're all like, well, we can't have Havoc traveling back in time, because anything that happens, it'll collapse the timeline, and then Planet X will be no more. And so they're like, all right, well, we're gonna stop them. And then Cyclops and Cable are like, well, why hasn't he come in and just told us what the deal is? And they're like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And then meanwhile, you flashback to, or not flashback, or then it goes. The next scene is back where the last issue ended, which was Kang coming in and being like, all right, Havoc, I got this plan, dude. Because we saw Kang just like rounding up all these alternate versions of heroes from the time stream before stuff went down in the Rapture, which was really awesome. And so that happened, and then now he's here talking to Havoc about, okay, dude, so here's the plan. We can send your consciousness back through time, but we need all the surviving members of the Unity team. And then Havoc's like, dude, I'm not having any of that. Because if none of this happens, then my daughter doesn't exist that I have in this alternate reality that we're in or whatever. He's like, so I'm not having it. And then like King just like smoothly like is like talking to him, like walks up and is like, well, guess what? If you don't do this, and like puts his hand on his daughter, he just like teleports away. He's like, you'll never see her again, and just like teleports out. And he's like, what? It's great. It's just like a great scene, because like everybody's basically trying to like convince Havoc, dude, this is like the way to go, like persuade him to their cause. But then he's like, dude, King's evil, like I'm not gonna work with this dude. And then he just like still like nonchalantly like walks up as he's like talking and like trying to talk, like rationalize with him, snatches his daughter, like teleports out, and he's like, oh, guess what? If you're not gonna do it, I'm gonna force you to do it. And then it's like, yeah, that's just how King rolls. And then so let's see. And then we go to the next scene, which is Iman back at the wherever the capital of the Planet X or whatever. And then it's cool. It's weird. It's kind of creepy because it shows well, before it cuts back to that scene, they're talking about, they need all the members of the Unity team. But then they're like, well, we don't know what happened to Sunfire and Wolverine, like, after everybody got here from the Rapture. Because we know Havoc, Wasp are there, and then Thor's there. And then, but they're like, well, we never saw Sunfire or Wolverine when we got here. And so when we cut to the Royal Palace of Planet X or whatever, you see what they've done to Wolverine and Sunfire. So essentially, I guess they have like Sunfire in like permanent on mode where his powers are on, but then he's like standing next to Wolverine in some chamber thing, and he's just like permanently immolating him or just like setting him on fire. So it's like some sort of like weird like opposite of like a carbonite freeze where he's just like in like a permanent burn and just like sitting there because like he can't regenerate then and like, you know, break out and stuff. So that was a really interesting panel. And then Banshee's there like looking at them, and Ivan's like, oh, if I didn't know any better, I would say you were a bit disturbed by this. And then like she walks in with Dawkins, and they're talking about oh yeah, okay, so yeah, this is like the weird part. So then she's all like, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill the ex-council, and you know we're gonna take him out, and that'll be, you know, another problem solved. And we're just gonna like make it look like that King did it, and then, you know, the people will rally to me because I get results. And it's like, oh man, Ivan is just like, you know, cutthroat and brutal and just doesn't care, ruthless. And so that happens, and then we cut back to Havoc and his team after splitting with Thor and their team to hatch this plan to get Wolverine and Sunfire and save the day. And so they're watching them on this like holographic monitor thing, but then there's like it's actually funny because like there's like the onomatopoeia is all like Aruga, so I thought it was funny that the alarm was actually like an Aruga, and like, you know, just that sound. I thought it was funny. Anyway, so that happens, and then they're like, oh no, what's happening? And it's like, oh well, we found Wasp, because like she walks in, and then Havoc's like, oh, Janet, where you been? And then he like finds, like he looks at her and she's all well, he doesn't know what's wrong with her, but then Psylocke is like, or the alternate Psylocke, because there's another Psylocke that was brought in with King. She's all like in her mind and like, oh, she's being mind jacked by somebody else. And then it was, oh, that was a cool part, because like it was like Psylocke was like looking in her mind like, oh, who's in her mind? And then you have the Psylocke from 616 Psylocke with like this weird alternate. Oh, that's the other cool thing about the X Council. It's like all of the X-Men that were on Planet X had like alternate outfits, which like were pretty cool because they're all like futuristic. Anyway, so you had Psylocke versus Psylocke in like a oh, mental, oh, I see you, but you're me. That's pretty cool. And then so then like the X-Men hatched their plan to take down. Well, what they said they were gonna do is like they're just gonna like capture Havoc and then, you know, take him off the board, and that would be that. But things kind of escalate. We will see. So the X-Men like attack, and it's cool because you have Cyclops. I think there's two Cyclops. I think it's like because I was confused because I was like, I saw this panel when like the X-Men come into the building, but you have two dudes with visors, and like you see Cable, so you know it's not Cable. And then it's like, you know, you have, I think that's like the all new X-Men Cyclops, and then the older Cyclops in the back behind Magneto is like the old Cyclops. And then you have Magneto, Cable, and then like some lady and some dude in some like weird blue suit thing. You have Toad and Blob and Storm. Oh, that's the other cool thing about like Jean Grey. I was like, you know, they said it was Jean Grey, and I was like, oh, is that the, you know, all new X-Men Jean, or is it the? I'm guessing it's all new X-Men Jean. With that's pretty cool. Anyway, so you have X-Men who roll in, and they're like attacking the. I think they called them the Chrono Corps. Yeah, the Chrono Corps or something, or Kang's team of people from the time stream. And they started fighting and whatnot. So stuff goes down. Yeah, just, like suffice to say, stuff goes down, and then eventually, Magneto has Havoc, and he's about to kill him. Actually, before that happens, there's this funny part where Blob sits on Doctor Doom, and it's just hilarious because he has this like, you know, because Storm has this like lightning thing. Or attack, and like she hits Psylocke, but Doom has a shield, and he's like, haha, you didn't get me, and then he takes her out. But then Doom's like, Blob's like walking up behind him, and he's like, so that personal shield thingy you're rocking, does it get a setting to defend you from fat? And he just like sits on him. And that was hilarious. But yeah, so anyway, after that happens, and like the X-Men seem to have the upper hand, Magneto gets King in like the magnetic hold, and he's like, "Okay, I'm about to, you know, just force choke you, kill you, whatever. Take care of you." And then it cuts to Iman, Banshee, and Dawkins, the two. I think, are they the only two surviving? Whatchamacallit? I forget what they're called. They were the 5 horsemen. Were they the horsemen? No, they thought they were something else. Anyway, those two, but they're like made from the Death Seed, so they've been brought back actually. So they're not actually alive. They're oh yeah, it was a Grim Reaper. He should be around still, I think. He probably is. Anyway, uh, so there's those two there. I'm in Banshee, Dawkin, and then she's so there, and then Dawkins all like, okay, so what do you want us to do when we kill the ex-council? Like, what do you want it to look like? And she's like, yeah, just make it look like they died in their sleep. King had it out for him and got to him before they can do anything, and that was just like so totally cruel. But then there's like this like these like thumping noises on the wall, and she's like, oh, what's that? And then she like goes to check it, and then Abomination like rips through, and then Dawkins. Anyway, stuff goes down. Suffice to say. And then Thor's there with his team. He's like him, Spider Woman. I think it's a Spider Woman because in another issue, it was like alternate timeline, or yeah, it was like some weird alternate timeline, and it was like May Parker. So that was interesting. Anyway, and like Iron Man has like these gears on his armor. Anyway, so yeah, Thor's there with some Avengers, or Iron Man, or the other people from the Chrono Corps. Jeez, sorry. And they're there, and they're shutting down Dawkin and Banshee, and then Thor's about to drop the hammer on Iron Man, but then it's like, oh, to be continued. So we will see what happens with the the saving of. Actually, we won't see because according to Comixology, the next issue is the annual. So I'll be waiting 2 months for the resolution. Well, I guess not the resolution of the storyline, but to see what happens next. But yeah, that was Uncanny Avengers number 19. So yeah, did enjoy it pretty good. But next issue I will be reading, I believe, is well, I guess I shouldn't say it because I can just say it when I come back with the other book I read. But yeah, like I was saying, that was Uncanny Avengers number 19, and I'll come back with the other book I read this week, which was Thunderbolts number 25, after this. Alright, actually that is it for this week's comic book talks, because even though I have issue 25 of the Thunderbolts, I haven't read issue 24, because the last issue I read was 23, but then I missed a 24, and then I have 25, and I want to keep reading in order, so I'm not going to delay this video just to do that. So yeah, comic talks, I will still try to be getting them out every week. We'll see. I'm also trying to get my pull list more organized right now, because there's just a lot of stuff I'm either going to either drop or just start reading in trade. So that's the plan now. But yeah, so thanks for watching and listening. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share with your friends, or not. That's cool too. And until you see or hear from me again, thanks for watching, and I'm now signing off.